just what you came to see. Let me be your muse. I'll inspire you in ways you won't believe.
Hello sweeties, welcome to or back to the channel. It's Sugar here and thank you so much for joining me. We're going to be doing unit 15. She's 25 inches. Of course, we know the packaging. This is the wig we're going to be doing today. This is unit 15 and 1B. As you can see, she's got some curl and some volume to her with shorter layers, which I actually love.
Okay ladies, so last week I did unit 4 and I was really feeling it. I had to run it back to see what else they had. Look at this beautiful hairline. It is different than unit 4. It's very appropriate for this hair. The nice fine edges, I think they do that so well, and it fits ear to ear great. I've been sleeping in these wigs and they are so comfortable. Also, if you haven't already, go check out my unit 4 video. The wig is really pretty and it's a super clean cut, follow along type video. You can install any wig to that video. I'll link it above. So now we're going to pin her back. I really want to get into the hairline with you guys. This hairline was really pretty if you're wearing it with the soft edges, but you see when I pull it back and I want to go, you know, clean install, no edges, it's okay, but it's a little bit uniformed for my taste. So I want to show you in real time how long it took me to tweeze this hairline, make it more custom to me. So I'm going to show you the process. So if you notice, I'm pulling straight back into the hair, and this is really a detailed way of doing it. Pluck, pluck, pluck in that one area, stop and hop over and do it again. We're not doing it back to back to back, okay? And also notice my hand placement. I'm pulling that hair back with my pointer finger and I'm holding the lace down with my middle finger and I'm going in between and tweezing. I really suggest you try that. So now you see that I'm actually pulling some hairs out. I really like that soft, barely noticeable widow's peak look. It gives the hairline a great look. It looks more natural. So that's kind of what I'm going for. So when you're trying to make a widow's peak, you want a sort of V shape in the middle, and you're going to make 2 upside down C's on the outside of that V. And the closer they are, the more pointed and noticeable the widow's peak will be. I didn't quite do that because, like I said, I wanted to be less noticeable. See how this one is more noticeable? I just wanted to take out a few hairs on the outside, show that there is a difference in the middle and the sides, but not enough to even really call it a widow's peak. I also want you to think about what's your best plucking method. I've learned tweezing on my head is better than tweezing on a mannequin. On the mannequin, I'm more prone to putting holes in the lace, and I am more prone to over plucking. My advice would be to pluck it on your head because you can see where that hairline is falling on your forehead, how it's framing your face. Sometimes when it's on the mannequin, I feel like you could just really get carried away. It looks so great on the mannequin, but then when you put it on, it might look completely insane. Pay attention to this part. So you see how I'm going in there and I'm in the same area, but that one's a little bit different. It's less being taken out, okay? The more times you go in that area, the more it's going to clean it out. Sometimes every part that you're plucking is not going to be completely cleaned out. You're going to leave something there. The ones where I'm barely taking something out, it's most likely in between 2 cleaned out plucks, if you get what I'm saying. And with that variety of tweezing, you get the overall natural look. It does take practice. It does take, you know, really eyeing it. And that is another reason I'm really pulling that hair back so I can see what it's really giving. You can see me stopping it and eyeing it and seeing, you know, where I need to break it down a little bit more. I don't want the hairline to recede. If you notice, the hairline is still where it was. We're just breaking into it and making it seem more shapeful and less uniformed. On your initial installs, make sure you're sitting down, taking that 30-45 minutes to really get your wig in order. This is like your hair appointment, so it's really no rushing it. Take your time and really try to accomplish the look that you're going for, and with practice, speed will come. So the hairline is pretty much done. I'm just going in, fine-tuning it. When you're doing the little plucking in between, just taking out little bits, get really precise with those tweezers, close them down some, get very specific with the hairs you're taking out. And again, all these little varieties of pluckings and sizing of it, it all comes together and just gives you this really great look. Okay, so we've come to the end of our plucking journey. It took me 4 minutes and 41 seconds to get this hairline in a decent way that I like. 4 minutes and some change isn't bad. I'm very happy with this, and I hope this was helpful to you. If you have any questions, please comment down below and I'll get back to you. This is the Ruby Kisses 3D Contour Artist in the shade 2. I use it with this dense foundation brush, and this is the shade that I usually go for. What I love about this palette is you can mix and match colors, mix up your own colors. I think that's, as Black women, that's really important because sometimes it's really hard to find the perfect match or undertone. So you have a lot of control here. I got really great questions from Jade, and another topic I want to talk about is when you're matching your wig, always match it to your natural skin tone. When I'm not on camera, I never put my wig on with makeup already on. I always install my wig first and then I do my makeup, because if you match it to your natural skin tone, even when you put your makeup on, it'll be fine. If you take your makeup off, it'll be still good, I promise. And if for some reason you don't want to use a cream foundation due to oily skin or something like that, look into lace tint sprays. Sometimes they can be tricky to color match because some of them are too red or orange undertoned, but if you find the right one, they can be great. And just in case the lace tint spray gets on your hair, always have alcohol nearby to clean up. And my last little tip for this video is, if you have spray adhesives, make sure you are cleaning off the nozzles after every few installs. It does get frosted over and can cause a big mess. It will get all in your hair because it spits and sputters out. It will end up on your face if you have it done. It's a real mess. So just keep that clean because you want it to be nice and precise like this when you spray it. So just keep that in mind. And now I'm going to let you just watch for a while, and I'll come back in a bit and talk to you guys. So like I said in the other video, when you're cutting the lace off, it may look crazy. It might have like a crazy white cast to it, but do not worry about it. We're just in the adhering process. We haven't done the meltdown yet. That's when, you know, everything gets taken care of. So if you see it, don't trip. Don't think that your install is not going well. Everything is going to be fine. I also wanted to say I'm using spritz right here, but I'm getting really low and I'm either going to re-up on that, or if you guys have any like suggestions on melting sprays that y'all like or that y'all have been wondering about, I would love for y'all to drop those in the comments so that I can check them out, because the spritz is good, but I kind of want to try a melting spray because I haven't ever tried one and I hear they're really good. So if y'all have any suggestions, please let me know. I try to avoid cleanups as much as possible, but things do happen. You know, sometimes working with liquids, they might run, maybe you put a little bit too much. Just always keep some alcohol on hand. I use like a 91%, I think, alcohol, and I just dab it on a piece of Bounty, and I just dab it where I need to clean up, make sure things are nice and neat before I start drying it. A step I never want you to miss is after you take off the melt belt for the last time, take that comb and do your fine-tuning work to that hairline. Make sure that there's no hairs caught under the lace, around the hairline. Sometimes they get caught and it messes up the illusion. It looks like you didn't really pluck it well, or there's a line of demarcation. We want everything to be chef's kiss. So this is the meltdown. This is how it came out. I think it looks really good. I'm satisfied with that. So now I'm going to take it down and brush it out, kind of give it a style, if you will. I just think this hair is so pretty. I was starting to really feel it right here. Love the curls, love the layers. It can be so many different things. Like 1 minute it could be, you know, black beauty queen hair. The next minute, if you style it a certain way, it can give you like a retro country singer. It can be flirtatious, and it's just a really good, well-rounded wig. I do enjoy wearing this every single day, and it's just really glamorous. She also has this beautiful like 90s essence to her. If you style her a certain way, like she really just gives it girl of the 90s. Like I'm telling you, I love this wig. And that right there is kind of giving like the retro country star I was talking about. I love it. I think it's versatile. She just gives so much. Keep her in mind when you're holiday wig shopping. You know, the holidays are right here and you got to show out, girls. So I hope you enjoyed this. I definitely suggest it. Love, love, love. Go hit the link and get you one. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell. And until next time, stay sweet.